Hey everyone, it's Melissa from thedailymail.com and I am back today with Flosstube video number 7. Today is Sunday, May 12th, so it is Mother's Day here in the United States and Canada. I know England has theirs earlier than us, and it may be Mother's Day in Australia too. Not sure. Anyway, wherever you are, if today is Mother's Day in your country, I hope all of you mothers are having a wonderful day. Those of you who are mothers to children you've birthed, adopted, stepchildren, angel baby moms, fur baby moms. Yeah, I just hope everyone has a wonderful day and that your loved ones treat you kindly. So, happy Mother's Day. As for Stitchy news, I don't have any finishes because, as you may know, we are in the throes of Stitch Maynia. So I will, instead of having a regular whip update at this point, I will do a Stitch Maynia update in just a little bit. And because of Stitch Maynia, I don't have any finishes to share this time around. It's hard to finish things when you're changing projects every day. So no finishes or FFOs this week. One thing I did want to talk about briefly is, I know many of you know I was participating in the School of Magical Stitches. I made the decision a couple of weeks ago to step back from that. I found I was just getting really burned out on having to track all my stitches, and you know, I would be enjoying a piece I was working on, but I had to put it down because I had to work on something else because the piece I was working on didn't fit for homework, and so I had to stitch on something that did, even though I didn't enjoy it as much as I was enjoying what I was already working on. So I had made the decision at the end of April, towards the end of April, that I was going to sit out for Stitch Maynia, and then I would pick back up again after Stitch Maynia was over. There has subsequently been some drama, major drama that went on in the group, and you know, if you're in the groups, you know what it is. If you're not in the groups, it doesn't matter. But I made the decision, since I just wasn't really enjoying it as much lately as I had initially, I was just going to make the decision to go on and leave, and so I did. So you won't hear me giving School of Magical Stitches homework updates anymore in my Flosstube videos because I'm not there and I don't know what the homework is. So, but I'm kind of excited about, once I get past Stitch Maynia, just having the freedom again to stitch on whatever is pleasing me at any given moment, and not having to worry about trying to count my stitches as I'm going, and I can just stitch for the love of stitching again. And ultimately that's what it should all be about, right? Is just stitching for the love of stitching. So I will of course be participating in the 24 hours of cross stitch again, take 3. That's coming up in, I believe, early June is take 3, and then August is take 4. They're both already on the books. You can find all the information in the Facebook group, which I'll link in my show notes. And I will also link to the Stitch Maynia group in my show notes as well, if anyone is interested in that information. For those of you who are doing the 19 days of Stitch Maynia, we are just over the halfway point. You know, we've got about a week to go. For those of you who are doing all 31 days, then you're about a third of the way through. So it's going quickly, much more quickly than I anticipated. So I've got still 19 projects, you know, counting my 12 whips and then, you know, the new starts I've got in. And I actually have a couple of other new starts I really want to kind of get started. So I may extend mine and go a little past the 19th. Time will tell. By that time I may be really burned out on the changing projects every day and just want to settle in on something for a while. So I'll see how I'm feeling when the 20th rolls around. I may extend it by a couple of days. I'm not going the whole 31, I know that for sure, but I might extend it by a couple of days to just go on and start a couple of pieces that I've really had on my mind lately. One of those being a new piece from the Drawn Thread, a new kit that I got that I showed in a past video. I believe it's called Sunshine Sampler, I think. It's a whole row of little houses like in a neighborhood. It's really pretty. And like I said, I bought the kit, so I've got everything I need to go on that one. So I kind of want to get that one started. And then another one that's on my radar, and I'm not sure exactly when the issue is going to come out, but Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine did a sneak peek slideshow of the new summer issue on their website this week. And there is a gorgeous new design from Barbara Anna Designs that I am just completely smitten over. It's a blackbird and a dress and a top hat with a strawberry kind of arbor over its head. It's called Strawberry Time, I believe was the name of it. And I am just obsessed with it. So as soon as that issue comes out, I definitely want to be starting that one as soon as I can get it kitted up. I'm hoping it's DMC. It didn't look like Fancy Floss. I didn't see a lot of variegation. So I'm hoping, you know, it'll be DMC because I've got a full set of DMC, so I can go right away on it. And I've got enough fabric options in my stash that I think I can come up with something that will work for it. So as soon as that issue is out, and I get the digital one, so it'll be a PDF. I don't have to wait for it to come in the mail. I should be able to get started on that one. So that may be another May start for me, depending on when that issue comes out. So I think that kind of wraps up all the stitchy news aspect. So before I get to my Stitch Mania update, I thought I would do my haul first. Normally I do a haul after, but I'm going to do it first. First thing I have that I want to share is my fabric of the month from Color and Cotton. Oh, and before I show that, I will say I know I've been showing my floss of the month from Color and Cotton that I get through Crazy Annie's. I made the decision this month to drop out of that Floss of the Month club. I love the floss. It is absolutely gorgeous. It stitches beautifully, but I have so many things fully kitted right now, and I really kind of want to rein in my spending a little bit on my stitchy stash. So since I'm getting the fabric, I decided to drop the floss for a while. And you know, once I've built up some of my Color and Cotton fabric, I might go back and do the floss again. But for now, the floss is gone and I'm just sticking with the fabric. So this is the fabric that I got this month. I am in the 28 to 32 count even weave club. So this is 32 count Lugana in soft apricot or apricot, depending upon how you say it. I do get the fat quarter, so this is a 17 by 26 inch piece. I'll pull the little belly band off there and give you a larger look at it. It's really, really pretty. It's a apricot is kind of a rosy apricot to me. I think of apricot as being a little more orange, but this is definitely kind of a rosy color. So, yep. So that is that. And then I got the auto ship for the newest glitter house from the Glitter Village series by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is house 7. So I only have 2 more to go. And I am stitching these. This series started, I believe, in October or November, but I didn't start it until January 1st. So my goal is to stitch a house each month. So I am currently, since it's May, I'm on house 5. I still have just a smidge to stitch on house 4 to get it finished up, but I did house 5 as one of my Mania new starts, so I jumped right to it. So once I'm done with the main part of Mania, I do want to go back and finish up the last of house 4 and finish up house 5 so that I'll be on track with my Glitter Village goals for the year. So that is house number 7. It's really cute. Yep. Now the last thing in my haul. I very rarely have been fortunate enough to be on Instagram when Christine from Stitch All the Things posts bags on her D-Stash Instagram account. But it just so happens that last Thursday, I think it was, Wednesday or Thursday maybe, I happened to be on right as she put up 2 bags. And being the Harry Potter fan that I am, and being that on Pottermore, which in case you did not get the email, Pottermore is soon going to be transitioning from Pottermore.com to WizardingWorld.com because J.K. Rowling apparently is doing a partnership with Warner Brothers. I got an email about it a couple of days ago. Anyway, on Pottermore, I was sorted into House Hufflepuff. And when I was in Magical Stitches, I was Hufflepuff there as well. So, of course, my heart belongs to Hufflepuff. How beautiful is this bag? Black glitter vinyl, which of course Christine is known for, is the glitter vinyl on her bags. Beautiful zipper top, nicely finished. Inside, there's a double pocket, which is the Hufflepuff fabric there as well. And this really pretty polka dot is the rest of the lining. She also included a skein of DMC 310 in my order. And I have to say, I mean, and I realize we don't live that far apart. We're just a few hundred miles from each other. She's in Lake Havasu and I'm in Anaheim. But I bought it, in fact, it was Thursday. I bought it Thursday morning and it arrived Saturday morning. So Christine gets her bags out in the mail fast. So if you've ever been on the fence about ordering one of her bags, seriously, just order one. They're fabulous. Yeah. And you know, I've mentioned it in a couple of videos, I don't generally go for the handmade project bags. I use the see-through vinyl zipper top ones that I can buy in bulk on Amazon for about $1 a bag. This was considerably more than $1. But yeah. In fact, I jokingly told her and my best friend both that if this thing had a shoulder strap on it, I would be tempted to carry it as a purse. I love it that much. So yeah, Christine, so maybe you have a new market, purses. You know, Vera Bradley's done pretty well with, you know, quilted bags. So just saying. Okay, so that is the last of my haul. So now, Stitch Maynia update time. Okay, so day 1 was a new start for me. And if you remember from my last video, what I had said my plans were going to be was have a new start on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but then finishing out the last 3 days with all new starts because I only had 12 whips. I did make one slight change to my Stitch Maynia plans on day 10, I believe it was. Yeah, a couple of days ago. I was going to stitch on one of my whips, which is a gift that I'm stitching for someone. And this particular person follows me on Instagram and subscribes to my YouTube channel. So it's not anything I've ever shown, and I won't show until the person receives it. Well, until I finish it, and then the person receives it. So I decided, since it's not something I could show a picture of anyway, I was just going to take that out of my Stitch Maynia plans. I did have an alternate project already lined up in case any of my plans fell through. So instead, I slipped that new start into day 10, and I will show you that when we go through. So day 1, I started Glitter House number 5, which, oh, I forgot. Here's where my glitter village was before Stitch Maynia started. And here it is now. And I can't see, I hope that's in the frame. Yeah. So all I got started was, on the House 5, was this little top border. But since, I don't remember where I was when I did my last Flosstube video on Glitter House number 4, but this is where I am on it. So basically all I have left to do on it is the little bottom border here, and which I have most of it done. There's just a few little bits left to add in there, and then adding the snowflakes, and that one will be done. And then of course I need to pretty much do all of house number 5. So that was day 1. Day 2, I worked on, and I'm working on my whips in order, oldest to most current. So day 2 was my first whip day, and so it was working on my oldest whip, which was Taj Mahal, and here's where it was before. And here's where it is now. And so what I stitched on was this paisley. I got most of this interior part of the paisley filled in on day 2 of Stitch Maynia. And this is, like I said, my oldest whip. I started this one in 2007. So yeah, it's been around a while. But someday I will finish it. I kind of jokingly call it my lifetime project because, you know, if you've ever worked on a chatelaine, they're not the easiest designs to work on because of all the specialty stitching, and they can just be overwhelming due to their size and intricacy. So yeah. So I can only work on it in small batches, and then I have to give myself a break and work on something easy. Okay, so day 3 was Halloween Fairy by Mirabilia. This is where it was before. And here's where it is now. It's getting close. So I added in all of this Kreinik stitching swirls over on that side. I did realize I made one mistake, debating whether or not I'm going to pull it out, because unless I pointed it out to you, you probably wouldn't know unless you've stitched it. So I may just, you know, and it's not in any place where I can't just leave it and it'll work and be fine. So I may just leave it. Okay, day 4 was Plum Blossom Kimono, which is my counted canvas piece. And here's where it was before. And here it is now. And so on day 4, I added in this block, which is, the name is escaping me now. I know part of it is the dark rows are a goblin stitch, and I can't remember what the light blue row is. It's not a satin stitch, it had some other name, but yeah. So that's that piece. And that's when I started in like 2009 when I took the class. Oops. Okay, day 5, Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. Here's where she was at the start of May. One good thing I will say from being in School of Magical Stitches, I took pictures of all my whips leading into, well, towards the end of April because it was a requirement. So I actually had good pictures of all my pieces leading into Stitch Maynia. So here is where she is now. And what I did was I added in a lot more of this red area right there. Yep. And the fabric on this one, I keep forgetting to tell fabric names. So on Glitter Village, this is on a natural and silver, or raw and silver opalescent. Taj Mahal is on 32 count Ray of Light Belfast, which has unfortunately been discontinued, but it's just a really nice, pretty soft yellow. The Halloween Fairy is on a grab bag from Silk Weaver back in the day. I think it's blueberry, but it wasn't labeled. And, oh, sorry, forgot. My canvas, this is 24 count Congress cloth. And Royal Holiday is 32 count Conifer Belfast from Picture This Plus. Okay, next up we have May 6th, and I worked on Siren and the Shipwreck, and here was my before photo. I did not get a whole lot of stitching done this day, so there's not a whole lot of progress to show. But there's how she is now. And so what I worked on were these dark kind of brown stitches right in here. I literally only stitched for about 30 minutes that day, so I did not get much done. I think it was one strand was all I got done, so it may not have even been 30 minutes. The fabric on this is an offcut I got years ago from Stephanie Bishop of Hand Dye Fabrics by Stephanie. I think it was maybe a test color she was working on. It's not something that's in her catalog. So, And as you can tell when I was holding it up, it's an odd size because it was just like a test piece. So it's like, 30 inches by 18 or maybe even more than 30. Yeah, it's probably 36 by like 16 or 18, something like that. So it's definitely an odd size. Oops, folding it backwards. I always like to fold my actual stitching to the inside. And that way, in case, heaven forbid, something gets snagged, at least it's on the back side of the fabric. Okay, day 7 was another whip. And it was Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy by Mirabilia. Here's the before picture. And here's where she is now. So I actually have all of the stitching done, and all she needs is beads, and she will be a finish. So she is definitely one I want to focus on in June to get her wrapped up, since all she needs is the beading. Or maybe even at the end of May, after Mania. I'm done with Mania. And the fabric on this one is just a natural linen. It was a kit, and the fabric came in the kit. And on all of these, I'm using the recommended fibers on everything. Okay, day 8 was a Saturday, so that was a new start. And this is the piece I decided to do. This is Home of a Needleworker Squared, which was a market release from Little House Needleworks. If you remember in my last video, I did not like the fabric that came in the kit. It was very stiff. Some of you suggested to wash it to remove some of the sizing, which I did do that, and it was still much stiffer than I like. Plus, it was a little small, and I didn't think I was going to have enough of it. So I had tried, I had cut a piece of Heartland for it from Picture This Plus, and I had asked in the last video if you thought my eggshell fancy floss from Classic Colorworks would get lost on it. I thought it would, and many of you agreed. So what I ended up going with instead is a piece of summer khaki. And so this is what I got done. Since it was a Saturday, of course, I got a lot more stitching done. So I've got the entire border done. So now all I need to do is fill in the interior part. And I'm really pleased with how it looks on the summer khaki. I got the idea for using summer khaki from Steph, Pam and Steph at Just Keep Stitching. This is the fabric she used for hers when she did it as a shop model for keepsakes. And I thought it looked really pretty on that fabric. So I also am using summer khaki for my Four Seasons piece as well. Because if you remember in the same video, it had the same fabric in the kit and I didn't like it. So okay, day 9 was a whip day, and so I worked on Garden Party Cool Colorway from Satsuma Street, and here's where it was before, and here's where it is now. So I finished the hummingbird and finished filling in the rest of the sun. I haven't done any of the back stitching on the sun, but I think the only back stitching may be the mouth. So, but yeah, I was pleased with what I got done with it that day. Okay, now day 10. This was the day where I had planned to work on my gift project whip and ended up deciding not to. So what I did was I pulled in my alternate project, which is Prairie Schooler 12 Days of Christmas. But instead of stitching it as one big piece, I'm stitching them as 12 individual squares so that I can finish them into little pillows to put in a wire basket that I have on my coffee table. So I will have that for some holiday decor. I am stitching these on 32 count platinum Lugana. And this is what I got done on the day 1 square, which is partridge in a pear tree. So I got most of the tree and the partridge done. So that was day 10. And then yesterday, day 11, a Saturday, was another new start. And for this one, I chose Winter Wonderland from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is one that I bought as a PDF download from their website. I just love that little bear. He's so cute. I don't remember the fabric it called for. Alchemy, maybe? But I am doing mine on sterling, which is also from Picture This Plus. And so that's how far I got. I hope that's on screen. Yeah. So cute. And it's all DMC with the exception of the red, which is Turkish Red by Weeks. So that was my Stitch Mania so far. Today, of course, as I said, is May 12th. So it will be another whip day for me. I'll have whips today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. And that finishes my whips. So the next three, today I'm working on Being Inspired by Stitch Rovia, which I started on my birthday back in February. I'm also working, tomorrow I'll be working on Two Birds in One Tree, I think is the name of it, by Modern Folk Embroidery. That's one I'm stitching using the Sulky Blendables in Peacock Plume. So that will be on tap for Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, for Monday. Today is Sunday. That's Monday. Then Tuesday, I will be working on the Autumn Keeper Pin Keep by Barbara Anna Designs, which is my most recent whip that I started. And that takes care of all my whips, with the exception of the one gift project, which, as I mentioned, I chose to leave out of Mania after all. So then, of course, that only takes me to the, today is the 12th, that takes me to the 14th, which leaves 5 days to go. So I will be ending with 5 new starts. Woohoo! Since my whips all moved up a bit, that left me a new spot in the new starts. So I decided to slide in my Stargazer. I'm going to restart Stargazer. As some of you may remember, I shared, I think in my 3rd video, that I had her the better part of maybe a third to halfway done, and she got lost. I had a whole box of stitching stash get lost when I moved last fall. And unfortunately, she was part of it. So I have decided to restart her. I did choose a different fabric for her this time, which I shared, I think, I may have shared in a recent video where the fabric had arrived. It is another Pole Stitches fabric. I love their fabrics. They're absolutely gorgeous. It takes a while to get them from the UK, but in my opinion, it's worth it. So I had previously started her on Angel Dust, and this time I'm going to be stitching her on Dusk. So I'm going from dust to dusk. But yeah, so she will actually be my new start for Thursday. Yeah. So I think that is everything. Just want to thank everyone for supporting my floss tubes, leaving your kind comments, and all the kind comments you've been leaving me on Instagram as well, and all the likes over there. I truly appreciate it. I kind of have mostly been a paper crafter for the last few years, and just recently, in the last several months, picked up cross stitching again because I was having some eyesight issues for a few years and wasn't able to see well enough to stitch. So now that my eyes have kind of settled down from that middle-aged shift that they were going through, I'm glad I can stitch again, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So I just wanted to thank you so much for all your kindness and accepting me into this community. I truly do appreciate it. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your Stitch Mania, whether it's going for another week till the 19th or all the way to the end of the month on the 31st. I can't wait to see what everyone is stitching on. I look forward to it every day on Instagram and in the Stitch Mania Facebook group, seeing what everyone is posting. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And watching Flosstube videos about Stitch Mania too. I've actually watched several new Flosstubers, new to me at least, by looking, searching for Stitch Mania 2019. So that's a great way to find out who's participating, is just doing some simple searches. Search the hashtag on Instagram, or just do a search here on YouTube for Stitch Mania, or go into the Stitch Mania group on Facebook. If you're not already a member, you can join there and just look through the photo albums. It's really amazing seeing the incredible projects people are working on. So, all right, everyone, thanks a lot. And again, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there, and have a great rest of your Sunday. or Monday if you're in the South Pacific where it's already Monday. And I will see you all. I may try and do a video next Sunday to wrap up Stitch Mania. I'm not sure. If not next Sunday, then the next Sunday, or 2 weeks from today on my normal schedule. So until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.